Hello, hello, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. We are about to start this new episode of Live with a Pro. Today, I am joined by one of the best carries in Europe, perhaps in the world, one of your guys' favorites. I know he's definitely mine. Uh, Today, I'm joined by Nikobaby, also known as the Shark. I've invited you to speak. So if you should get a button somewhere at the top of your screen saying join stage.
Hello, hello.
Okay. Okay, hello.
You guys hear?
Can hear you now.
Hello. Nice.
How's it going, man? How are you?
Oh, good. Life is good.
Life's good. That's what I like to
Life's
hear.
good.
How have you been? Of course, we've been you and I have been talking a little bit about Dota in the past few weeks, but for people who haven't been following you too much, how are things going?
We've been grinding a lot, so focused on the next season already.
That's really good. Season is starting in what, like a little bit over a month, right?
Yeah,
Um,
quite some time.
it, maybe if it's not without going too much into detail, or I don't know how much you can share, but tell us a little bit about what does the practice look like, and you say you've been grinding. How does that look like exactly?
Well, the day starts with a few pubs. You're warming up. Then it depends on the day. You could do lane practice. You could talk about the games and what you want to do. And then the scrims start happening. After the scrim day is over, discussions happen, and you need to figure out what went wrong, what went good, and then you finish the day with a few more games, and that's about it.
We're playing a lot of Dots
A lot
right
of
now.
dots for sure. Yeah,
Okay. How many games a day? Like 10 games a day, something like that.
yeah, it's around 8, 9 games, but it's not about the quantity. It's more about the whole day. You're constantly thinking about the game, and you're constantly thinking what you should be doing. Correct.
hmm and obviously, Alliance, you guys didn't announce a new roster, and I don't expect you to give me any inside info. But do you guys already have the team settled, or are you still doing tryouts, or how is that going?
It's still cooking for sure.
Okay,
So that's all I'm
okay,
gonna say.
that sounds interesting. But you're sticking to carry, right? Like you're not
Yeah,
switching your
for
position or
sure.
anything.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, cool. Um, and in terms of that, we've recorded a few videos last week. Um, Tell us a little bit about the state of the game right now. What do you like? What do you don't like?
What I like to extend laning stage more so than anything. The game is in a state where you don't want to move around too much. You just want to have strong sides, and you want to try to stay there for as long as you can. That's the
hmm
main target.
And what are some of your favorite heroes that you like to play right now?
I like a lot of heroes. That's the thing. Almost any carry you can make it work in the right game. That's the mindset. You should be open-minded.
Okay. We definitely talked about like these fast-paced heroes. These Razor, Weaver. Um, what is it about these heroes that make them so strong right now?
It's with those two. It's mostly the Falcon Blade. It's very convenient to buy. You can also stay on the lane for a lot of for 10 minutes. You can kill range creeps pretty easy, and then you can also farm jungle. You're strong at fighting. You buy the right items, so that's what makes them very solid. And it's also pretty easy to pick them compared to, let's say, a Lifestealer that is a last pick.
Right. So how important is the fact that you can flex pick these heroes right now, or does that not really matter so much in pubs?
In pubs, I would say it doesn't matter that much, but in competitive, it makes them broken because they flex on multiple rows.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. Um, and you know, tomorrow, for the people who don't know, we're also having a recording session. Do you have anything planned for us there? Like anything new that we haven't talked last week when it comes to like the carry role? What are some of the things that people can expect to learn from some of the videos that we we created last week that haven't been released yet, and some of the new upcoming ones.
It's gonna support the previous idea of sitting on the lane for as long as you can. We're just gonna introduce new heroes. Lifestealer is one of them because this hero can be very strong when it's a late pick and when you can't be kicked away from the safe lane. That's when Lifestealer is actually pretty broken. And I want to show this because I've had a very high win rate in pubs with it, and I'm sure people are gonna like it.
Okay, it's very very interesting. You know, I feel like how the meta has changed a lot throughout recent patches. Um, I feel like just a few months ago we were talking about, you know, you want to play these triangle heroes as much as possible, and you want to, you know, rush the triangles um, as soon as possible. But then every time I talk to you, man, you told me, you know, the meta shifts, it changes. You need to do this, you need to do that. I don't know what I would do without you, man. I think it's really really great.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a constant process for sure.
what are some of the things that help you um, you know, figure out the meta? Of course, obviously you're playing in a competitive team and in competitive environment, so that helps you out a lot with figuring out stuff. But what are some of the things that you do to try to, you know, always make sure that you're getting that competitive advantage, either in pubs or in solo queue or
It's
in competitive?
For me, the main thing is sitting out the good and bad. And a lot of the times from pubs, there is a lot of bad, as people know, I'm sure. But there is also a lot of good. And if you can sit out the bad and you try to ignore this and you focus on the good stuff that you learn from your pubs, it means eventually you're going to understand the meta the best. But if you focus on the bad stuff that you see in your pubs, you're not going to get good. It's the same logic as in pro scene, pubs, all of it matters.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I remember the first time we talked was you mentioned a lot about, you know, the meta is a lot defined by the most powerful items. Do you think that's still the case?
I think it's for sure it has a part in it. For me, the
Hmm.
items they matter a lot, of course, and it's about the map, how you want to play the map. It's about setting up rules. So let's say you want to really defend your tier one safe lane tower. So if you really want to do that, you're gonna be focused on heroes that don't want to move away. Obviously, you're not gonna be focused on heroes that want to jungle early. So for me, playing the map and items, that's what you focus on at the start of every new meta.
Makes a lot of sense. Um, I think before moving on to getting some questions from some of the members, and by the way, guys, you can write stuff in pro live questions. I'll be going through the chat, and then half an hour later, we'll also be bringing you guys onto the stage. But before we start looking into questions, what are some of your expectations for the new patch? So you know, new patch is coming. I believe it was confirmed that it's coming on the 23rd of February. I might be wrong, but what are some of the things that you would like to see changed?
Well, I can't really predict, but I just want to see a whole different meta, as many changes as possible, because it feels like right now it's pretty. It's been the same for a long time, but I haven't really thought of what they're gonna change because I don't really know what they're gonna decide. But it doesn't
Mhm.
matter so much for me as long as there is a lot of changes. That's what I want to see. I
So
want
you're
the
not.
game to be completely changed in a way.
So are you would you like a double ancient camp to come back?
I don't even know. They can also change the map, the Roche spawn. It's whatever they think of. I think it's gonna be great.
So it doesn't really matter to you what they change as long as something happens.
I mean, I need to adapt anyway, so whatever they change, I'm gonna adapt to it.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, cool. Um, all right, I think I'll start looking at some of the questions that you guys type in pro live questions, and I see something already that I think is very funny. I got stupid cat asking, why do you always play on your Smurf account?
Because it's more fun and I care less about MMR. So I can just go there and I can practice and I can learn the most. When I play on my main account, everyone knows who I am. It's always different to play on your main. This way I'm more incognito mode and it's way more enjoyable for me.
So do people still not know your Smurf, or are you using multiple? Are you playing on multiple accounts?
When you change your name often, people don't really know it. I mean, some of them They still remember me, but some don't, which is nice.
Okay. And you don't get recognized in pubs like on your Smurf because of your playstyle or anything like that?
Actually, to be
Or
honest with you, I don't know if they recognize me because I don't play with the chat on. Most of the games, I just mute the chat on and I talk in voice, and that's it. So I don't know if people recognize me.
also you mute text but you leave voice on.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Do you think that's important in pubs? Like if you want to become a good player, do you think it's important to be able to like communicate and make calls on voice even in pubs?
For me, what works for me is I always try to communicate in voice what I think is right in the game, and I try not to focus on the bad stuff that happens because let's say I'm gonna bring the morale down. And usually, if I read chat, people are just talking random shit and they flame, and it's like so unproductive. That's why I try not to look at the chat. Let's say you make a mistake, they straight away write in the chat something stupid and pisses me off. So I would rather play with no chat, just talk to them in a positive manner, and I try my best, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a very good way of doing it. I like to play with chat on just because I'm the type of guy who likes to be a little bit toxic sometimes. But that's me, and I definitely don't recommend people doing that, especially if you're trying to grind your MMR. Um, but all right, let's see what else out there. So Jester is saying that you're known as being an aggressive carry player. Why did you decide to distinct yourself in the carry role with the aggression, and what drove you to become the player with the playstyle you have today?
The thing is, this playstyle could be a bit misleading because you're only being aggressive when you play the map correct. So for me, most of the games, I'm lurking people to come to me in a way. So if you play the map correct, kills come to you. So in a way, this is not really like I'm not applying much of an aggression as much as I'm applying proper map movement. That's when kills come to you, and that's when I look aggressive. But in reality, I'm not really going to look for kills. That's the main thing that people don't see so much.
Hmm. So it's not just about being blindly aggressive. It's also about
No,
knowing when to be aggressive.
yes, it's about playing the map first. Then kills come to you, and that's when you look aggressive. And in reality, you're just playing it correct.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when we look at some of the games, you make it look so easy, man.
Yeah.
I think you're definitely onto something there. Um, all right, I got
Thank you.
another question. Of course, my pleasure. I got a question from Berger, who I know he's one of your biggest fans. He's a 7K player, I believe, and he's asking, what do you think that separates 7K players and pros in learning? And what was the greatest thing for you to improve? So I think the question is like, what differentiates 7K players or like really high MMR players from pros? And what was the thing that you did to improve and like get really good at the game?
For me, probably the focus is different, but also the seeding between good and bad, like I said. So let's say I never think of anyone as less of me. And in most of my pubs, even if the guy you see obviously he plays worse than you and he's feeding, sometimes these people have something smart to say. Sometimes they also did something smart, and you need to be wide open to learn even from lesser people. That's the main thing, always. There is nobody lesser than you, and you should always try to learn whatever you can from these people. That's the main trick. And then it's about also, I feel like some of the people they play way too much without analyzing their games enough. So it's not about just quantity, it's about playing smart in a way. It's about analyzing your replays, and even if you'd like, you should just go and walk after you play 5 games to reset your mind and to think what you should be doing next. That's what a lot of people don't do when they're just grinding. They're just purely focused on quantity and not quality. So for me, that's the main thing.
It's a lot about the mindset.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there stuff that you do in particular to like work on your mindset? Do you do like, I don't know, like meditation or sports or I don't know. I've heard some people talk about doing yoga, or is there anything that you do in particular to work on your mindset and making sure that you're always in a good mood?
For me, I really like to start my day with a walk and going outside to see the sun a bit. If there is sun, if not, you just enjoy the cold anyway. And then in between games, for me, it's very important. Even after every game, it's important to take 5, 10, 15 minutes breaks to calm your mind a bit and to figure out what happened in this game. And then you can queue again. It's not about just queuing 5 games straight after straight game. For me, this is pretty bad. And I try to work on that. And then at the end of the days, I try to stay away from monitors as much as I can because the whole day I've been on a monitor and it's important to finish the day away from one. So those are the main advices I would give people to keep their mind in more calm state.
Is this something you can also manage to balance when you guys are boot camping? So let's say in periods like today where you're saying you're playing Dota all day long, you wake up,
Yeah,
you do some pubs. So this is something that's an absolute priority for you, and you'll figure out ways to fit it in your schedule no matter what.
most definitely. For me, time management is something very valuable to have. Not only if you're a Dota player, it's probably very valuable to have if you're a decent human being. Time management is everything. It's a key. So even if you have 30 minutes, you can make the best out of those 30 minutes. And if you go out and you get a coffee and you take a walk, those 30 minutes were very much put in a good use. So there is always time to do this type of things. And whoever says that there is not enough time just has poor time management.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a matter of priorities.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on through these questions because there's quite a few coming in. I got Sad Boy Johan asking, as a safe lane main, what is the most disruptive thing that an offlaner can do to stop you from farming?
The most disruptive.
Yeah.
It's probably about fighting the pools. Let's say if the
Mhm.
offlaner guy, you guys can out bully my 5, and then I'm gonna be left out to play 2v1, and then you guys get a big pool, the big camp pod. This is the most disruptive thing that can happen, and then the lane is probably over, and then it's about trying to save the catapult. If you can use the catapult for as long as you can, and if you can pressure the tower, that's the best thing you can do. Anything else, for me, this is the most annoying one from them all.
Who are like top three most annoying offlane players you face
Top three.
in, in competitive? Yeah. Who do
I
you hate
mean,
playing against, like in the offlane against the most?
the thing is, I don't really hate playing against the good ones, but I would say Zai. But I don't really
Mhm.
hate playing against him. I just like playing against him because every time you play against him, you learn a lot about how you should be laning properly. Because every single small mistake they're gonna punish, he will punish it. So output Zai.
Zai.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. Um, all right. I had another good question here somewhere. So Cat Maiden is saying, "Hi Nico, girl gamer here, big fan. I'm a position 5-4 player. You as a carry, what do you do as a carry if your supports unintentionally feed? And how do you manage this situation and how do you help out your supports if you end up helping them out?"
I mean, it doesn't matter if you feed. There are just a few important things that should happen in the lane. If you kill the catapult, and if you bring a few extra salves, even if you died 3, 4 times, that's all that matters, and the lane is still gonna be fine. And it doesn't matter if you feed so much, if you focus on the three most important aspects of the laning stage, then everything else is whatever. Shit happens.
So focus on the most important things, and then you know if they
Everything
end up
else is a
feeding, it is
bonus.
what it is.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, I like that. I think like one of the worst things that you can do is like, especially when you know like your teammate is doing a bad move, and you have like this feeling that I shouldn't be doing this, and then you end up doing it anyway, and then you die, and then you're like, why did I do this? I think that's like one of the worst, but it's also like one of the easiest traps you can fall into. Um,
Kills don't matter so much. I mean, of course, you don't want your carry to die a few times, but if you die as 5, it's okay.
all right,
It's not the end
that
of the
makes
world.
sense. Um, Heintura just wants to give a shout out and is asking, how do you uh, how do you split push as hardcore when the whole team is already failing and you have no chance in farming in the jungle.
How do you split push?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very complex question, but it's more about finding the lane as further away from the action as possible. If you see them coming in to fight your ancients, you should be already on the bot side of the map, and you should look into your next move if they try to catch you there. You should be ready, or you should be calling somebody to push the opposite side of the map, so you can go there after they react to your bot. That's like the most simple explanation I can give because it's a complex topic
Mm.
and it's hard to be answered in one sentence.
Yeah. I think one of the just to add a little bit on this, I think one of the things that I learned from you is that, sometimes like when you're playing from behind, like it also depends how much behind, but when you're like super behind, at some point you have to take like some kind of risk, right? Like
Yeah,
because you have no map control, so you have to take some kind of risk, and
yep.
it's all about like, well, I got to try something because if I don't do anything, then we're gonna lose anyway. So might as well try something.
Also, you shouldn't be afraid of dying. If you're splitting up, let's say you want to push a tier 2 or you're hitting a tier 3, it's not so bad if you try to push your limits and you died as further away from your base. So even if they queue, they're not going to get a objective out of it. This is very important.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Um, all right. I got Randy saying, "Hi Nico, big fan. What are some key differences in being a professional carry player versus being a pub stomper?"
Professional carry player and a pub stomper in pubs, people don't pay attention to the map so much. They don't pay attention to how the Dota should be played in a proper way. They're more focused on getting a lot of farm and getting kills and all this stuff, and they get frustrated when things don't go their way. But in reality, everything that happens in Dota 2, like at least competitive level, it's all about the map movement and it's all about how your team is gonna support your idea. And people in pubs, they don't focus on the map at all. They're just playing wild Dota. So that's a big difference.
Okay. I got a very interesting question from Trapezoid. He's saying, "I see a lot of carry players play mid sometimes and the other way around, and most famous ones are Sumail and Miracle. I see a lot of players switch between these two roles. Would you say the positions are intertwined, and um, what made stick to what makes people stick to exclusively one or the other?" So I guess like the first question is just what do you think about, switching between one and two, and maybe have you considered it?
I mean, in pubs, I've definitely played a lot of Lina. For example, Lina for me is like a carry type of mid.
Mhm.
It's mostly connected because you can farm these small neutrals on the near you, and then you're gonna have a lot of levels, and then eventually you can also farm ancients. And it's very hard for you to die mid, to be honest. Plus, it's very hard to lose mid because you always have runes nowadays. Therefore, you're always gonna have high levels, pretty safe farm, and then you're gonna have exposure to your ancients, and you're fighting 1v1. Whereas if you play safe lane, you're usually fighting 2v2 with less XP, and then the ancients are so far away from you. So this is the positive side of playing mid carry, that you're always gonna have this exposure to ancients, smoke camp, a lot of levels, no ganks. It's pretty easy to dodge ganks, to be honest, if you're focused on the map. So yeah,
Have you ever considered, switching to mid lane, like in pro games, or not? Is that something that's not really interesting for you?
I think it's just situational. Like I'm not gonna play mid purely, but some games playing mid carry is gonna be very good for sure. But I
Mhm.
would say it's one out of 10 games,
Yeah. Do you
if not
like
more than that.
the do you like the way the game is right now with like these water runes and small camp mid, and like it feels like it's very hard to, I mean, of course you can still lose mid, but it feels like it's very hard to not go even.
I think it would be nice if there is more potential for things to go harder in one side. Like let's say you're playing so much better than the other mid guy, but then he doesn't have all these runes to take, and therefore you're actually winning mid hard. Nowadays it's just even. No matter what happens, it's even.
Would you like that so you would like that to change
Yeah, I would
a
like
little
to
bit.
see a
So there's
change
a
for
little bit
sure.
more like risk involved, and Like if you lose, then you lose.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're just so much better than the other guy, but he doesn't have to take 3 extra runes, then you're winning harder than you are right now. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've been talking with some mid players as well, and I know a lot of people share this. They find the mid lane very boring right now because you can have a really good start and then
It doesn't
um
matter.
and then it doesn't matter, yeah, because you just stack small camp and you catch back up anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll do a few more of these and then we'll start bringing people in on the stage so they can say hello. So Nessa is asking, "Hi Nico, 5K position 4 player here. I'm starting to learn how to play core soon, especially carry. Do you recommend me practicing unranked, or is it better to just make a new account and play unranked there?" I
I
guess
think
they
you
would
should.
want to say, yeah,
No,
go.
for me, you should just go straight and play rank on your main account and try to get some risk involved because it's gonna force you to play harder. You don't want to look for a comfort zone. You want to play outside your comfort zone because this way you're gonna learn faster and you're gonna learn more. That's my advice. Just go and play, but don't focus on too many heroes. Focus on 3, 4 carries and just spam them every game and try to be outside your comfort zone to learn the most and just watch your replays. And that's about it.
Yeah. I think especially when you're trying to learn something new, you should probably try to not focus on your like MMR too much because then you start getting stressed. Like, oh my god, my MMR is going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just focus on learning and trying to improve, and MMR comes naturally afterwards.
Yep.
All right. Um, I had a good question here. Uh, Let me see. Can you give some tips about playing carry in higher pubs, higher MMR pubs? So 6 to 7K bracket. I switched from mid because I feel like I can do more by playing carry. And honestly, Luna 700 GPM every game is a bit weird but funny. What do you?
I
What
mean,
are
the
your thoughts
most
on this?
I'm gonna repeat myself a little bit, but the best advice I can give to anyone who wants to play carry is that you should be mainly focused on the map and what side of the map you should be playing on and what side of the map is gonna be least dangerous, I would say. So just learn about the map and don't be put out from emotions to do stuff that you don't want to do. That's the main thing. Any MMR, any bracket, competitive, non-competitive, this is the main thing that connects all of them. Forget
Uh,
about your fucking emotions.
yeah, I think that's something. That's something Hanskin was talking a lot about whenever we were recording videos with him. Is that something that you feel like um, you learned from him, or is that something that you were pretty good at doing even before playing together with Hanskin?
I mean, I was good at it, but I was not fully aware of what I'm good at.
Hmm.
So it's more of a I learned more about what I'm good at. I learned more about what I need to be focused on because I was doing it mostly on instincts before, and now I just know what I'm doing, kind of.
Yeah,
But it's probably a mutual learning process with Hanskin. We both learn from each other.
yeah, for sure. That sounds great. I definitely know I'm learning a lot from both of you guys. So all right,
Cheers.
I got one last question before we start opening the live stage and get people
Yeah.
on. And this is from one of the gamers class employees actually, who's in love with Nature's Prophet, and he asks, "How do you feel about laning with position 5 Furion? Do you think Furion is any good as a sport?"
I think it could be very good in the games that they can't kill your trends. But the main thing is that why I think it could be good is the items. If you buy Crest and you try to buff your carry, I think it could be very good for sure.
There you go. So it's not a grief. It
No,
can be
it's
good.
not a grief. I think it could be good. If you buy Drum, Crest, these team items that you try to buff your carry, I think it could be great. Plus, the Shard Sprout is pretty annoying for most carries.
All right, all right. Well, I played with Johan once, and I saw him stack 7 camps at once, so I was really impressed by that.
Is this from
I think
Johan?
that, yeah,
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Yeah. There you go. All right. Cool. I'll start inviting people onto the live stage. So
Sure.
there were some people who had their hands raised up. I've declined everything, and now whoever raises their hand first will get in on like first come first serve. Um, so we'll try to get as many as you in here before I start actually inviting you
They
guys.
can
Just wanted,
raise their hands.
yeah, they can raise hands. It's like
Holy shit!
elementary school all
It's
over
like I'm
again.
back at school. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So before I start inviting people in, just want to quickly uh, give some rules out there. So you guys have time for one question each, and please be respectful of that. I don't want to kick you guys off the stage, but I will if I have to. Um, so one question each, and then we'll let as many people go for the next 30 minutes until we wrap this up. So Burger is here first, and let's just start with him. I've invited you to speak. You should be getting like a button somewhere at the top. And okay,
Yes, I see that. Thank you very much. My question is
hello.
that uh, can I
Hello,
carry on?
Burger.
Hello, Nikobaby. I have one big question and my one smaller one where it's just a few words answer. And to start, uh, when you're thinking of last pick carry, do you go with the team plan or try to focus on the enemy's plan, or you try to like create your own plan of the game? So enemies can have a team that is strong in first 15-30 minutes, like split pushing and early timing heroes, and your team is slowly scaling in like 40-50 minutes when they become strong. You decide in picking carries that can fill the time of 15 to 30 minutes to hold the game, or like go with the team plan and focus on the late game.
The most important thing is that you need to make your team draft solid with your last pick. So let's say you see the freest Morphling game ever, but then you have, let's say, DP and Puck mid. It's not gonna be great, and you need to be focused on, let's say, picking a Sven to support your team's draft, because you don't wanna ruin the draft by last picking something that's not good with your draft. For me, this is the most important thing. You need to make your draft solid first, and then think about everything else.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
Okay.
best way, and this is the easiest way to win.
Okay, thank you. And my biggest
you.
dream and question is that how much time you give to me so I can beat you.
How much time? A lot of time.
Okay, I'm trying hard, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
I got a long way to go. I see. All right. Next up, I got Jamobilus. I invited you to speak. Let's see if. Hello.
Hey guys, hi
Hello.
Nico.
Hello.
No question here, but just wanted to share that I'm aspiring to become a pro myself, and just wanted to thank you for constantly sharing your insight and thought processes about how you play the game and how you approach all the problems and like puzzles with Dota. Your way of thinking is super similar to mine, and this both reinforces my confidence and it helps me to improve and perfect my own play style. So yeah, you're awesome. Thank you and keep it
Thank
up.
you, man. Thank you. I'm happy to hear this, and I'm sure if you keep grinding, you have a chance of making it big.
Thanks. Peace.
Please, bro.
There you go. What a wholesome moment.
Yeah, that was a good speech.
Thank you very much for that, Jemo.
G-Mobile's good speech.
Okay, Third Burglar. Very interesting name.
Third
I've invited
burglar.
you invited you on stage. Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hello, very nice name, man.
Thank you. Hey. So Nikobaby, I'm a big fan, and I think if you keep fighting, you'll definitely succeed. My question is, well, back 8 years plus ago, I played in local tournaments as a carry, and I
Yeah.
used to really focus on split pressure, like pressuring towers and forcing reactions. And I know the metagame's changed quite a bit since then. So how
Yeah.
do you weigh up your options between pressuring the lanes and farming safely and efficiently? And what do you think is more preferable in the current metagame?
So the first focus should be always on the creeps right now. It's about the side lane and probably mid, but as a carry, you rarely want to be around mid. So you should be pushing the side lanes as hard as you can, because if you push them, then the pressure is going to be on them to decide and stop your creeps of pushing, and that's when you can farm jungle. So if you have the option, always lane creeps and then jungle. That's like a simple route to follow.
Okay, thank you. So safety versus pressuring and putting yourself at danger what's ideal?
The thing is, when you push these waves, it makes it harder for them to come and kill you because you're gonna
Yeah,
have
I agree.
information. You're gonna have the information of the map. But if you just go farm jungle and you don't push these side lane creeps, that's when it's easy for you to die. And you might be thinking that you're safe, but in reality, there is a higher chance of you dying there than on the side lane while you push these creeps.
All right. Thanks, Nikobaby, and good luck in the future.
Thank you, Third Burglar.
There we go. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, Dota is a lot about playing the map. It feels like whoever understands the map the best has the advantage right now, or at least that's how it feels to me in this meta.
For sure.
Suburneer, I've invited you to speak. We'll give him a few minutes. Oh, here he is. Hello.
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 Hi, Nikobaby. I'm a big
Hello.
fan.
Thank you, man.
So the question I have is, I know you're supposed to watch replays to get better, but like, what sort of things should I be looking for in replays, like my own and pro ones as well?
About your map movement. For me, this is the most important, and how you're applying side lane pressure, and then what areas you should be focused on farming. That's the main thing a carry is supposed to look at, and this is what I would advise everyone to look at the most. Just keep looking at the side lanes, and then you can farm jungle. That's the most important thing. I know it sounds simple, but if you learn to abuse the side lane pressure, then you're gonna be able to free farm 9 out of 10 games. Even if you're losing, you're still gonna be farmed as fuck.
All right, thank you so much, and I
Thank
hope
you.
Alliance does well in the future as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, I get Mahirovic 13. I've invited you on to speak. Give him a few seconds. I think one of the things, like when watching your own replays, you know, that's something that you did in one of the last recordings. Maybe it's something we can try to do tomorrow as well. If you know, people from here from the stage, you know, have some replays that are pretty good. Maybe we can take a look at some of them tomorrow. So, you know, make sure to drop us some match IDs, and maybe we'll take a look at some of them.
Yeah.
That would be nice. It looks like Mahirovic isn't here. I see he requested to speak again, so I've invited you again. You should get a button at the top of your Discord. If you're on your phone, it should still be at the top. We'll give him 30 more seconds, otherwise we'll take someone else.
Yep.
I have a question while we're waiting about... Oh, never mind. Here he is. Hello? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hello.
Nikobaby. First, I would like to thank you for all your videos. I improved a lot from them. And I'll try to make my question very simple. I am 4.5 player, and we play in something you don't bother in Immortal bracket, which is ranked rules. And as a carry player, I suffer a lot from Rolls Farmer. I don't know if you ever heard about them, the Rolls Farmer, who are just need for role to play their core games, so they play whatever support they want. So I sometimes I go and lane with only brown boot and tango. How do you deal with such kind of support? Like, how do you deal, like, you are literally 2 versus 1 in lane?
I mean,
Thank you.
the thing is that you're already stuck with a bad player, right? And the best thing you can do is focus on yourself and focus on thinking how you can get as much as you can 2v1. And you should forget that there is a guy next to you, because if you're focused on your bad support, you're gonna make worse decisions because you're gonna be negative towards this bad player. So whatever happens, you know that you're 2v1 and you can do it 2v1. And it doesn't matter about what kind of player you have next to you, because you're gonna win the game anyway by doing good. That's the main advice I would give you. That's what I think.
All right, cool. Thank you for that. Should
Thank you.
probably go answer the door, I guess. Must be pretty important. They've been ringing for a while now.
Yeah.
To be fair, if I had a chance to do this, I would not answer the door either, you know. All right. Cool. Next up, I have Invoker Girl. I invited you to speak. Let's see if she is around. Yeah, I think this ranked roles thing is something that's I thought the question was going to be different.
Yeah, me too.
And it
To
was
be honest.
I thought he was going to ask about like the moment when you have to play the other role, and that's
Yeah.
something that's funnily enough it's something we talked
We
about
talked about.
in it, and
Yeah.
there's a video coming on that soon.
Yeah.
Hello.
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 Hi,
Hello.
Birch. Hi, Nico. So you are known for having a very strong and powerful energy and being a very good teammate to play with. That's what I know from plenty of competitive Dota players, and I'm a big fan. And I wanted to ask you, is this like great game-winning attitude that you have of yours? Because I know it's contagious and it's very important for your teammates to feel that vibe. Yeah. Is that something that you built naturally? Maybe you developed it through working out. Have you done any sports in real life? Because you have a very good leader quality, right? Is there something that you have naturally by default, you think? Or maybe there's a way we casual pop players could develop that somehow?
I mean, for me, any energy is contagious, whether it's negative or positive. And if you get to the point where you're only giving positive, you're gonna receive positive. For me, what works now, of course, I was a football player back in the days, but now what I'm focused on is walking a lot and reading a lot. It helps me clear my mind from bullshit. Therefore, I can focus on being a great teammate at the end of the day. But also, to be honest, we get the chance to live a good fucking life, and it's not hard to focus on the positives.
Right. So basically, working out outside Dota can also be very important for becoming a better core player, right? Given
For
that
me,
energy.
yes, like the physical aspect of being strong mentally is for sure important, and you should be focused on it. And you cannot be positive if you play 10 games every day non-stop without going outside. I can tell you this
True.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's I really like that. Or
That was a good speech as well.
yeah, I really like the way
Yeah.
you put it. That all kind of energy is contagious. So might as well just put good vibes out there instead of bad ones.
Yeah.
All right, Ice I7. I've invited you to speak. Let's see if you are around. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can, Ice.
Hello, Nico. Hello, March.
Hello.
My question is about team communication in higher MMR pubs. So in my case, if I'm playing carry and I know that I need to farm more to get my key items to fight, but my team wants to fight because I don't know, we have like an Ember and a great offlaner with high farm. What should I do? Go with them or just farm and get my key items?
For me, you should be talking about this with them. That let's say you need 2k gold more, and you should be talking about your next move and where you picture yourself farming on the map. That's the best you can do. And if they want to go without you, sure, they can fight, but you're not going with them. That's for sure. Because if you go with them, there is a high chance you're gonna game run your game harder than if you just sit there and you explain to them what you need to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Because I kind of have some of these games where I needed to farm and I didn't go to fight. And after I got my items, I crushed them. It was easy to fight after.
Yes.
But
This is always the case.
the hard thing is that maybe sometimes your team don't understand this and they flame you for why? Why didn't you come to fight with us?
The thing is, that's not really your concern as long as you communicate it with them first. Guys, I need 2k gold and I'm gonna be on the top side of the map and I cannot come to fight. If you say this and they still decide not to follow you, that's you did your best already. And you should be focused on doing this because at the end of the day, you're gonna have a higher win rate overall than if you go and you fight for no reason.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Ice. Yeah, that's always a rough one, and then you have to deal with the flame from
That's
your
why I
team.
mute the chat.
Yeah, you're a smart man, dude. It's like you're preventing the issue before it even happens.
Exactly.
Trapezoid, I've invited you. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, when it comes to like getting better at the game, what's the best ratio when it comes to practicing and studying? Or like for example, is it like every 3 hours you play, you need to watch replays or guides for an hour or so? And does the ratio change when it comes to like the ranks? Like if you're Herald, you need to like exclusively play, and then you need to like close the gap as you rank up. And how is it like in tier 1 teams? Like, do you guys do like 3 scrims and then spend like 5 hours studying? Because I know that at tier 1 everyone's good at the game already. So it's like, does the studying part becomes a lot more crucial than playing?
It's always crucial, but the key is not to overdo it. So let's say after every game, you should take 5 to 10 minutes break. And after that, at the end of the day, you need to do the summary of what happened this day. But also, when you do summary, you don't want it to be 2 hours, because if it's 2 hours of studying, it kind of gets annoying and boring at some point. So I would advise you to keep it short, 10 minutes for every game, I would say. Let's say you played 5 games, you should spend 10 minutes on each game to watch the replay and see what you did wrong. And you shouldn't do it for too long, because it's going to be annoying and you're not going to learn anything. That's the best balance that I have, at least. This is what works for me. 10 minutes each game that you played at the end of the day, and 10 minutes breaks after each game.
Got it, man. And like when it comes to like tier 1 teams, do you guys focus more on like just scrimming and pubs, or no, it's like exclusively studying to some degree?
It's a constant, complex process, and I would say that throughout the whole day we talk about Dota. So in a way, we're constantly learning, but it's easier when you have somebody to do it with. Let's say we're 5 people, we're constantly talking about how the game should be played, what heroes we saw, and then we try to support our ideas. Therefore, it's so much easier than if you're just alone at home. And that's the whole day is just a learning process, almost 16/7.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Awesome. Thank you. It's it's sometimes like a lot of work, you know. Sometimes you don't realize it. Especially like during boot camp, like you guys work a lot, and it's nonstop, right? Like you don't really like, yeah, maybe you go out for lunch or for to the gym or whatever, but like after that, you know, you're back on the grind, you're back to thinking about Dota. It's a lot.
That's exactly. That's why it's important to take breaks.
Definitely. Please call me. Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
My question is, among the professional carries, who's the top 5 strongest for you?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you. It's the microphone is a bit strange.
Among the professional carries, who is the top 5 strongest for you?
Well, for me, I was mostly amazed the most by Hao back in the days and the traditional Chinese carries. Hao, Burning, Aggressive. They were my inspiration to play. So it's still the same. I still get inspired from them a lot. And of course, nowadays I try to soak information from every carry player, to be honest. From pubs to competitive, you can always learn something from someone.
Thank you, thank you. I'm a
Thank
big
you.
fan.
Thank you, bro.
All right. Anyone in particular that you're maybe, you know, do you think there's anybody who's like an up and coming carry player out there that people are, you know, maybe, you know, people don't know about, or anyone?
I think anyone can be the next upcoming carry. It's hard to say because it's not about the skill only. It's about how well you're gonna deal with the pressure and how well you're gonna deal with the whole process. So it's really hard to say for me.
Okay. So if people just watch your gamers class, they might have a shot, right? That's
Yeah,
what you're trying
exactly.
to say. Yeah. Okay. Got it. I got it. All right. Cool. Deva, I've invited you to speak. Let's give them a few moments. I think yeah, I think it's definitely some of the stuff like you're definitely giving out all of, I feel like you're giving out all of the tools. You know, we're constantly working to give people the tools that so they can constantly improve and become like the best carries they can be. Then it's just up to like you said, you know, the mentality, and do you have the work ethic, and do you have what it takes to put in the hours and you know,
Yeah,
get
it's
there.
about the self-discipline is key factor.
For sure. Hey Deva, how
Hi
are you?
Nico, hi Mitch.
Hello, hello.
I'm a big fan from India and I have a couple of questions.
Yep, thank you.
So you have invented this meta like where we have to defend the safe lane right as a position one.
Yeah.
So previously, the position 3 would take the enemy safe lane tower, and then they will defend the safe lane, and we will get to farm the triangle and the opposite enemy jungle. But why do you think right now the meta should be changed like this?
The thing is, the meta is always decided by the first people to do something different. So for me, this meta is like this bubble created by people doing stuff, and it's a matter of fact of somebody just changing the whole meta. To be honest, so I think you can defend your tier one. I think you can leave your tier one. It's a matter of each game, and it's a matter of feeling what you want to do. So I wouldn't say there is a right or wrong answer. I would say both ways are correct, and it's more about what you decide to do and about the hero you're playing more than anything else.
Okay, thank you, Nico. And how do you play with the position 4 techies? Like he takes up an entire lane of creeps, and mid takes another wave, and jungle gets taken by support. So in that case, what will you do? For example, if you're a draw ranger
Or if you're a
or a
draw
megastar.
against, oh, then you need to be moving away from this lane as soon as possible, probably because it's going to be way too annoying for you to deal with. And you want to go to the off lane and take the enemy tier 1 tower and move away from techies because it's not your job to prevent him from using mines, I would say. Unless you're playing like a raid king who's going to kill mines with skellies, it's not your job.
So the offlane is not leaving from his lane, and he still wants to farm that spot, and techies wants to farm the other lane, and mid wants to farm his lane. In
Then,
that case, where will you farm?
well, the thing is, right now, how the meta is, usually what you can do next is there will be a storm mid. There will be storm, puck, void spirit, whatever it is. And very likely this guy would want to farm triangle, would want to farm ancients probably even, or he would want to go and kill people. So you can take the mid lane because you're gonna make him a favor by going mid anyway. And mid is usually gonna be very much safe. And this is something you should be talking about.
Thank you so much, Nico, for answering patiently. Have a great day.
Thank you, Deva.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I think we have time for a few last questions. So we got about 5 minutes left. So Hein Thura, I'm inviting you to speak. Let's see if you're around. I think in regards to what Deva was saying, I think one of the things, and I think I heard Mason talk about this once, and he was like, if someone's farming where you want to farm, just go farm there, and they'll eventually leave. Or he was saying something like that, and I think it's something where as a carry, most of the times, or at least I feel like you always want to move away from your team. Like if my team is somewhere, I want to go on the opposite side of the map to farm there, even though I know it might be the wrong place. So I think sometimes you just got to bully your own teammates out of the spot where you want
It's
to be.
it's not even bowling. It's just proper communication. If you say it in a calm manner and you explain the situation, you're gonna get a decent, positive answer in return. And if you don't, it doesn't matter because you did your best anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not even bullying.
Hello,
No bullying
Nikobaby.
here. Hello.
Hello, Hen.
Hello, bro. Sorry, I was so nervous that I pressed the exit quietly button.
It's
thanks a
so
lot
good.
for
It's so good.
thanks a lot for all your hard works, fan from Asia. And I even skipped my programming class for this. So let
Holy
me
shit.
ask you one. Yeah, just one question, bro. Can
Yeah.
you share some tips for like starting items in your laning phase as a carry? Like, what should I buy for the first 10 minutes in laning phase? Which thinking process should I base on?
So the thing is, there are two types of carries now, maybe more
Yep,
actually, but I can remember two times. So
yep,
you need to buy stick when you're playing against a spammy lane, that's for sure. And the moment you're not
yep,
playing against a spamming lane, of course you don't need stick. But the thing is, let's say the heroes I'm gonna focus on next will be Lifestealer, who likes to buy Helm of Iron Will, and then the lane is over. So with Nyx, you
yep,
should buy the Helm of Iron Will straight away, and then you get a free farm for the next 10 minutes. With other certain heroes like Razor and Weaver, you should be focused on buying Falcon Blade because you can just farm any CS and you can spam mana all the time, and this is your first item. Then everything else is freestyle, and you can do whatever you want. So right now there is a Falcon Blade, Helm of Iron Will, and Corrosion on heroes like PA. So those are like the main three types of items you will be buying on safe lane. And as long as you focused on them, then you can find the heroes you like to play.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you,
much
man. Have a nice day.
Camp
Thank
Alliance.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta got back to my class, bro.
you can
Bye
do it.
bye.
You can do it.
Bye bye,
You can do
friend.
it. Come on,
Bye bye,
you can
friend.
do it, bro. Bye bye.
Bye.
I love it, dude. Uh, definitely stay in school, boys. Don't don't be doing stuff like this all the time. Once in a while is good, but you don't want to be missing out on school and stuff. Random traveler, I've invited you to speak. What about you, Nico? How was school for you? Like, did you used to skip school and stuff to play Dota?
Yeah, definitely. I skipped a lot of school, but this is not good information.
All right, all right.
Uh,
Hello,
good,
welcome, random traveler.
good evening. Some micro checks. Do you hear me?
Hello, we hear you perfect, bro.
Okay, my question will be about communication. So, what you advise to do at completely failed games? I mean, when there is a score around 15-0, I mean enemy leads.
You should.
So
Mhm.
how you should communicate with your team when it's completely dismalled and they are starting to talking, but you need to come back.
You need to
As
tell them. You need to tell them that it's all going to be good, and you guys can win if you just relax now and play the map correct. And if you say this, and you mute the chat so you don't want to listen to this, you just say this and you try to help them. You're gonna give your positive input, and maybe these people are gonna wake up and they're gonna start playing harder because all it takes is one guy to tell you that it's gonna be okay, and then you start believing. But if you join them in being toxic, you're never gonna win.
the part two of the same question, but what about if you are playing not so well? I mean, I watched a video, I think, from Koikwa when he said you must doing well, so your score must be something like 5-0. You must be a top net worth, so then people will listen you.
No,
But
no, no.
when you are in opposite situation, what you should how inspired to people to do what you're asking for?
You just tell them that it was your bet. You died a few times, but it's no problem. You're gonna win anyway. And if you did this with the score thing, all of this is based on emotion, and emotions are really fucking useless when you're playing this game. You should not base your feelings or your like negative, positive based on your emotions. Just focus that every game you can win every game. That's it. You believe you can win every game, and that's all that matters to you. Nothing else. Fuck what people think. Fuck your score. Just focus on your good stuff. It doesn't matter. If you're 0-10 and you say something good in the chat, people are still gonna listen to you. Trust me on this one.
So if they ignore you, just do your stuff. Maybe you win solo, right?
Exactly. And if you do this, you're gonna win 1 out of 5 games, lost games. So if you have 1 won outside of 5 lost games, you're already making good progress. It's all about progress and about how many times you're gonna be able to do this. It's not easy though. I understand. It's not easy to do this thing, but I'm sure you can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Random Traveler.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I think we're there on time, but we have one last guy, only guy with his hands up, and he has a profile picture with your face on it.
Yeah,
So
let's
definitely
do it.
have to invite
We're
Kickass
doing
here
it.
for the
We're doing
last Kickass question. But yeah, definitely it's you can only focus on yourself and that's all you can do.
it.
You can't
Exactly.
control your teammates, but you have to try, right? That's something that you've been telling us for a lot of times. Like maybe you're not gonna get the outcome that you want, but you have to at least try because like
If
you owe it to yourself to try.
if you don't try, you're as equally guilty as everyone else who was negative.
For
If you
sure.
don't try.
I don't want to be guilty, man. But
Exactly.
hello, Kickass. How are you?
Hello, what's up, Mirj? Hello,
He-
Nico.
Hello, Kikas.
How's the Serbia? Everything fine?
Yeah, life is fucking great.
Nice, nice. My question is more like a psychological one. Like,
Yeah.
if I lose a couple of games, it motivates me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I go on like a big lose streak, I lose like 700, 800 MMR. It's like a mental barrier, then I start playing like a bot, not thinking too much, and the motivation is lost. So how to come back from like this big MMR lose situation?
Do you take breaks?
Like day breaks?
Breaks overall. Let's say today you lost 2 games in a row. Do you take a break?
Never. I
Take a
want to
break.
take revenge.
No, 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 no. After you lose 2 games in a row, now relax, go outside, do a 15 minutes walk, think what you should be doing, come back, and you're gonna win 2 more games, and then you're back. But if you keep playing, this negative shit, it snowballs into more negative, and there is nothing positive coming from anywhere, so it's just gonna be negative for the whole day.
Right,
Take
right.
breaks. Take breaks. That's my advice. You should take breaks after you lose 2 games. Fuck it, just chill. Go and play overthrow, win in overthrow, boost your morale, and then go win the next pub.
Okay, so it's like when you're losing a lane and you just keep on going there like chain feeds. So we have like chain losing games if I
Yeah,
just
it's
keep
chain
on
losing.
queuing.
Yeah.
I say.
Go play
I see.
overthrow. Have you tried playing overthrow?
Nah, but I can try other games
Just
apart
play
from
some.
Dota,
Yeah,
Counter
just
Strike or something.
exactly. Whatever you like for fun, go play something for fun and then come back 2 hours later, 3 hours later. You can take 4 hours break if you want, if you need. And then you're gonna learn how to recover faster. Let's say day 1 you're gonna need 2 hours to recover. On day 30 you're gonna need 20 minutes to recover.
Thank
That's
you.
my advice. Thank you, Kikas.
Thank you. Good luck for DPC.
Thank you, bro.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think that was about it. All the questions. I believe we gave everybody a fair shot to be here.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I have last thing. How did you? Was it? It was you who told me that you recalibrated by mistake, right?
Yeah.
And you lost like what, 1,000 MMR?
1.2k or something. Yeah.
How did you deal with that, right? Like that's something that do you care about that, or is it just like whatever?
It is what it is. It happened already. What can I do more other than focus on the reality, and that's that I lost it and I need to gain it back now, and just I'm gonna do it slowly by playing and by being good. That's all that matters.
Well, there you go. I just thought it was an interesting add-on to the last question we had over there.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you very much for doing this. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We are doing a lot of recordings with Nikobaby right now just before his boot camp. So if you have stuff that you want to get answered, other questions, maybe the same questions we talked to today, make sure you drop them here on Discord. We'll be taking a look at them. Send me some replays. Maybe we'll look at some of them tomorrow when we're recording. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned a lot today. I definitely know I enjoyed my time. Thank you, Nikobaby, for being here and for being great as always. And
Thank you, everyone.
yeah,
Thank you, everyone. I had a lot of fun, and thank you, Gamers Class. Thank you guys for asking me these questions, and I'm sure we're gonna do it again in the future.
let's do that. All right, cool.
Thank you,
Then
guys.
that was it for today. Thank you,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
And
Goodbye.
yeah, there you go. For those who haven't managed to catch this live or not entirely, we'll be uploading the VOD a little bit later today or tomorrow.